All right, we're going to work on multi-step equations, something you've done for probably the past couple of years. Okay, so it's very important, guys, that the problems that we go over, I want you to be taking them in some kind of notebook, because when you get back to school for second semester, you're going to need a notebook for the remainder of the year. Okay, we are going to have a final, so you'll need to have some of the material that we're going to be going over. So I would suggest again that you take notes. All right, I'll just have you read over these on your own. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to work out the first couple together. Okay, all right, so you can read those over. And now let's go ahead and work on this. So I'm going to use the old distributive property. You guys should be familiar with this, okay? So we're going to get 10x plus 30. I want you to remember that's really a -1, right? It's going to make a big deal because that's -1 and 9, which would be a positive 9x. Big deal right here, -1, -4 is a positive 4. Okay, what's a -5, 3? -2. Now, you'll look, we have some combining to do. Same with the constants, right? That would be 34. Okay, now this problem should be fairly simple from here. We're going to remove the lower variable of the 2, move it over to the other side. Okay. And two-step equation. Okay, and then we got 18x equals negative and a negative. We're adding them is 36. Okay, so we're asking ourselves, so you could do in your head, or 18 goes into negative 36, -2 times. If you want to check it, just plug it in your calculator and you're done, okay? Now, if you want to pause, give you 1 second. You could do this one and then check along with me. All right? Okay, so now I am going to distribute the 3. Okay, you could follow along if you've already done the problem. Now I'm distributing a -6n, -6, and -4 is positive 24. Do I have some combining to do? Yep. Oh, remember that's an n. Oh, almost made a boo-boo. Okay. 14n plus 24, right, equals -6n plus 24. Okay, I'm going to add 6n to both sides, right? Get a 20n plus 24 equals 24. I'm going to subtract 24. Ooh, I already know what I got. I've got 0. That's pretty easy to check. If you plug in 0 to the problem, it should balance out. All right, next one. You'll notice there's fractions in it. Now, with fractions, my main objective is to get rid of the denominator. So I find a common denominator. So between 5 and 2 would be 10. And I multiply each term by 10. And it gets rid of my denominator. And basically, you have kind of one of the problems we had up here. Okay, so 2 goes into 10 5 times, right? So I got 35x. 2 goes into 10 5 times again. 5 times 5 is a -25. Don't forget this one, okay? 2x plus 10 is a 20x. Okay, 5 went into that 2 times. -17 times 2 is a -34. Look at how easy that thing is now, right? Combine like terms. Okay, so I can combine my variables. Now I going to add 25. It looks like I might get a fraction for this problem, huh? What is that? -10. Yes, I am. Guys, with fractions, I would prefer, in high school courses, we usually don't turn them into decimals. We want the proper, so sometimes decimals go on forever and ever, irrational numbers. This case would be a perfect example. Negative and negative is positive, but what do we have? 2/3, which we know is at what? 6, 6, 6, 6 with the line over it. This is better to write it like this, okay? All right, we're going to have a few more we're going to look up on the next page. These are what I call special equations, okay? So let's look at these real quickly. And you'll notice we're going to do the same thing. Take care of the parentheses first, right? So we got 6x minus 21 minus the 2x. Then we got distribute the 2 would be 4x plus 20. Okay, so far so good. Combine the x's, a 6x minus 2x. And something funny's going on, huh? Because look at what happens next. I subtract the 4x. Hey, how can I get an answer if I don't have a x? Uh-oh. Well, look. Very important that you look at what you have left over. Does that make sense? No way. -21 does not equal 20. So this is what we call a no solution one. So when the variables cancel out, you're going to have two possible choices. If it doesn't make sense, it's a no solution. And I bet you can guess what this one's going to be. Let's work it out and see. So I'm distributing a negative sign, right? Or a -1 again. That's going to be turn into a positive, right? Now I'm going to distribute the 3. Combine like terms, right? Some of you may be already saying to yourself, what? It's the same problem. Yes, it is. So, when I subtract it, what's left over is something that makes sense. Now, we could call these all solutions. In Algebra 1, we just call this all real numbers. And some of you are probably saying, well, what is a non-real number? Well, you will be looking at that more when you get into Algebra 2. Okay, but for now, all real numbers that you plug in will work for that thing. All right, let's look at the next one, example 8. I don't know if you've seen many like this before, but we're going to work it out. It's not that difficult, okay? Just think of opposites. Your job here is to get rid of everything. You want to get the radical sign by itself, okay? So if I get rid of the 7 first, right? By adding 7, I have 8x plus 9 equals 7 plus 2 is 9. Now, to get rid of a radical sign, the opposite of a radical sign is to square something. It's funny, it's on your calculator too, right? The radical sign's right underneath the square button. So I'm going to square both sides. So basically 2 of these is going to remove the radical sign. Whatever I do on one side, I do on the other. Now, piece of cake, right? Two-step equation. Okay. I have 8x equals 72, divide by 8, right? And 8 goes into 72. What is it? 8 times, right? Or 9 times. 8 goes into 72 9 times. All right. We are done, guys. Okay.